Welcome, casual Bless Unleashed adventurer, to Mom's Basement, where I'm your host today, once again, DirtyHotte. And today I'm bringing you another Crusader build video. Last time we had the gift of Valor, so it's time to test if the Crescent Moon blessing might be the better one for Crusader. Let's find out in this video. Let's get to the topic today, because I have another cheat sheet, another Bless Unleashed build for you. Again, for the Crusader, because for the Valor build, click it and it's also in the description. There was a lot of feedback. So there are Crusaders who prefer the Valor build, and there are Crusaders that prefer the Crescent Moon build. So as I already did the Valor build, I thought let's check out Crescent Moon as well. So let's go right to the blessings of Crescent Moon, and I go over them and just give you a few words about priorities. So the first one is Crescent Slash, which increases the damage of slash skills by 55% and charges them up to 2 times. There's also the head-to-head match effect, which is applied for 16 seconds, but that's not so important for this build. Then we have Armed Frontline. Successful counterattacks restore 10% or X%, depending on how far you level that, HP, and resets cooldown of slash skills. Successful counterattacks against enemies under the head-to-head match effect increase the damage of counterattack by 35%. And we have Crescent Trade. Hitting enemies with combo has a 30% chance, so that 30% unfortunately is fixed, okay? So we can't improve that one, which is a bit of a shame. Then we have decreases the cooldown of slash skills by X seconds. Hitting enemies with slash skills decreases the cooldown of counter attack by X seconds as well. And then we have Moonlight Flash. Increases max HP by X amount and the damage of combos by X%. I think here the maximum is 100%, maybe 80%, but I think 100%. So a few quick words about priorities, okay? So I think Moonlight Flash and Crescent Slash are the most important ones, because Crescent Slash will buff your main damage skill, about which we talk in just a second, and Moonlight Flash will buff your basic combos, so your filler combos with the mouse buttons. That really improves your overall DPS. Now, with that said, let's head over to our DirtyHotte cheat sheet, which has now a black screen, and I hope that now we see the cheat sheet. Beautiful. So as I said before, here is the blessing. Crescent Moon is what we're gonna run. We talked about the passives. This one is the first point, so Armed Frontline. Because we won't run counter-attack with this build. Yeah, it's crazy, I know. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. But for this build, we don't run counter-attack because I don't like it, okay? And it's not really necessary. So this one, for this build, we don't waste points here. Just to send that one ahead. Okay, let's go over to the priority. So as I said, Crescent Slash number 1, Moonlight priority number 2. They are basically balanced out, okay? So it's a bit of personal preference if you like to add damage to your main damage skill first, or if you want to buff your combos first. That's up to you. Maybe a few words on that. Okay, I might run counter attack when the buff comes, that there's a little that the window of opportunity I have for counter attack is longer than 1 second, because at my age 1 second is definitely too short to react to something, okay? So that's why we don't use it now. And then priority number 3 is Crescent Trade. Okay, let's head over to the skills, how that works with, how we build it up and what the damage overall is. So Furious Warcry, basically the shout to buff all our damage and also the team. I know there's not much about team play anymore nowadays with the kids, but we all, the casual mom, dads and everybody in between, we still like to buff and support our team. So Furious Warcry it is. Then we have Carve a Path, that's our main damage skill. It does great damage with the blessing and it looks cool, okay? Especially if you are a little Ipin like my Death Ball, then Carve a Path just looks cool. And now have a look, attention on Death Ball, because that Carve a Path on an Ipin really looks cool. I mean, that's That's not too shabby, right? That's not too shabby. Yeah, now with the blessing and the skills, let's talk about the synergies. So Crescent slash skills, damage increased by X and adds a second charge. That counts for Carver Path, which is really nice and really adds some nice damage bonus to that skill. Then also Crescent Trait. Hitting enemies with combos has a 30% chance to decrease the cooldown of slash skills by X seconds. So that's also for Carver Path. So basically when it's on cooldown, you do your combos and it will reduce the cooldown of Carver Path. So that's like a nice synergy here. Unfortunately, it's always like 30%. You can't improve that one, unfortunately. Then Moonlight Flash, to save some room, we just have the arrow here. Increases max HP, which is good for survivability. And the damage of combos. So basically all the filler combos you will run until you can use Carver Path again. You improve then by X%. And I think if you max that skill, it's like 100%, okay? Then Daring Assault as your movement ability. I prefer Daring Assault here as well, because the combo in which it ends. Okay, I just prefer that one for that build. Then we have Final Strike. So we don't use counter attack. We have one free slot, and that's where I like to use Final Strike, because it also does nice damage even with only one charge. It's basically also just a filler ability to add some damage to the build. So blessing and skills basically done. That's what you want to run. Basically Carver Path off cooldown. Fill it up with Daring Assault and Final Strike. And whenever your Carver Path is then on cooldown, just fill it up with combos to make use of Crescent Trait and reduce the cooldown of Carver Path. Again, pretty straightforward. And then we have the class skills. And if you've seen my Valor build, you know those already, because for Damage Crusader, that's basically the only way to go right now. And if you haven't seen my Valor build right now, check it out. The link in the description, as always. Class skills. Zealot's Fire and Fanaticism if you don't have your 20 class passives yet. As soon as you have them, change Fanaticism to Endless Crusade for the heal on crit. Class passive, all your points are going right into Righteous Vigor. So while Zealot's Fire is active, you have a higher crit chance and you heal from your crits. So that's more survivability with more damage at the same time. That's beautiful. DirtyHotte loves stuff like that. A few words on skills, okay? I always try to get to have at least 2 of those skill reset scrolls in my inventory, because when I run a build and when I decided on a build, I go all in on those 4 skills. Okay, on the 4 main skills. I have some notes here, pen and paper, old school. So what path I would go is like, try to get Daring Assault maybe to level 10, your Furious Warcry to level 5, Final Strike maybe also level 10, but not more, and really focus on Carver Path, okay? Really focus on getting that, let's say 15, 16, 18, level 20. Now let's hit in-game, because level 20, I show you the problem with that if you're not so far yet in-game. So switch over to that. So here's the blessing again. So try to get your Carver Path up quickly. So here you can see my skills, okay? So Carver Path, it's at level 19 now, and for the next level I need 41 skill points, okay? 41 skill points. I now have 23, so I'm basically farming to get the next level on that, because it gets pretty expensive pretty quickly, just saying. If we compare that to a level 12 skill, you only need like 10 skill points, okay, for Final Strike. So keep that in mind when you're planning the build, and that's why I always prefer, when I decided on a build, on the skills I use, I basically go all in with all my skill points just for that, with the reset scrolls, so I don't waste any points anywhere, because that makes really a huge difference damage-wise. Stats focus, I updated that a little bit. This time it's also true for the Valor build. I would say go crit rate, then attack power, and then crit damage. Some might say go crit rate, crit damage, and then attack power. I say crit rate and attack power, and whenever that's not possible, add the rest to crit damage. That's, as always, it's my personal opinion. So that's basically it. That's the complete cheat sheet. You see it now here again. The whole build on one slide. And if you like the cheat sheet approach, please leave a like. And if you don't like the approach, also leave a like. And if you don't care, leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more stuff you don't care about here at Mom's Basement. Thank you. And it's not my idea. It's a combination of YouTube comments on my Valor Crusader and Reddit comments on that Valor Crusader. So I put that one together based on the comments and ideas of the community. And now, maybe let's talk about the true question here, okay? What is actually better right now for Crusader? Is it the Gift of Valor Blessing? Or is it Crescent Moon? And the answer on that is pretty straightforward. And the answer is, it depends. Yeah, that's true. It depends. It depends on your playstyle. It depends on what you prefer. And fear not, because DirtyHotte is chasing the answer to that question down. Next week on YouTube, next Monday, I will have an in-depth, okay, it's not an in-depth, it's an analysis with facts, with figures, with an Excel cheat sheet. No, basically only with an Excel sheet, because I just showed it and then I give you the results and my opinion on that. So check that out next Monday, stay tuned. Yeah, and for this, for the Crescent Moon build, that's it, basically, that's it. Yeah, straightforward, easy build, have fun.